Mark 13 and 21, and also Matthew 24, verses 26 and 27. Here kind of speaks back to those verses as an emphasis on the fact that we shouldn't be running after this, that, or the other thing. While we're in this wilderness time, Revelation itself spoke of wonders in the heavens, the signs, the sun. When I really knew it, when I had studied it, when I knew all of the specifications, all the details, all the characteristics, maybe I had even tried the item myself personally, but I had to know my product. Well, how can we testify? How can we give witness? How can we not be deceived by the enemy unless we know that which we speak of? So, reading the scriptures to learn of the patterns, designs, and plans, the character, the description, the plans of God, the words of God, so that we can know. We won't be deceived because we have learned the patterns. And remember that Matthew 24 said, how are we going to know when the Lord is coming, when Christ is coming? Because we're going to see the sky is going to light up from as far as the east to the west, the north and the south with lightning. There will be no mistake when the Messiah, the true Messiah, comes. We won't have to run here or there or following after this or that or the other thing. Remember those other scriptures that I gave you said, don't go here or there when they say, oh, the Messiah is here and the Messiah is over there, and no, the Messiah is down here. Go, come see this, come see that. No, we won't have to do that because we won't miss the sign, because we will have been studying it and learning it, and we will know it. And then Hosea. Let's go to Hosea. Chapter 2 and verse 14. That's Hosea chapter 2 and verse 14. Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. And I will give her her vineyards from thence, and the valley of Achor for a door of hope, and she shall sing there as in the days of her youth, and as in the days when she came up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be at that day, saith the Lord, that thou shalt call me Ishi, and shall call me no more Baali. So here again, Hosea is giving us another example of how the wilderness is not this horrible, harsh place, but he's going to bring her into the wilderness because of its allure, the comfortableness, the vineyards that will be there. And she's going to sing. Who is the she? Remember, we are the bride of Christ. So when we're speaking of she, we're talking about the bride of Christ. We're talking also in this verse 15 about the Israelites. She came up out of the land of Egypt. Who came up out of the land of Egypt? But the Israelites. And it shall be at that day, saith the Lord, that thou shalt call me Ishi. Ishi is the male, Ish, and God, and shall no more call me what? Baal or Baali. Ish is also husband. And remember that we are the bride of Christ. He is the husband. And we will be calling him husband, not just Lord. Remember how God said, you will be my friend and not just a servant, no more a servant. For I will take away the names of Balaam out of her mouth, and they shall no more be remembered by their name. Balaam, what do we know of as Balaam? Balaam was not the good gods. It was the false gods that they were worshiping. And in other words, all of the things in the past you will no more remember. And in that day will I make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of the heaven, and with the creeping things of the ground, and I will break the bow and the sword and the battle out of the earth, and I will make them to lie down safely, and I will betroth thee unto me forever. God here is talking about the covenant that he has made with us, reminding us that his covenant endures forever. You will be my bride, and unto me in righteousness and in judgment and in loving kindness and in mercies. And I will even betroth thee unto me in faithfulness, and thou shalt know the Lord. Here again, another way to know God, to be reminded that God is unchanging. When he makes a covenant with his people, he keeps his covenant. He is not a truce breaker. He is not a contract breaker. God keeps his word. Again, he is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So let's go on. Back to Revelation 15. The book of Revelation, chapter 15, and starting with verse 3. And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord God Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. Who shall not fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? For thou only art holy. For all nations shall come and worship before thee. For thy judgments are those that do the will. Who's going to be protected in the wilderness? Those that do his will. Who's going to be with our Father in heaven? Those who have done his will. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have we not cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. God does not change. He has set forth a pattern. He gave to us, as we first read, his commandments. And he gave a pattern for all parts of our lives, our relationships, our work, even our what we're to eat, how we're to speak, what are we to think. He gave us a guide for that in this thing I call basic instructions before leaving earth, the Bible, the manual. And he expects us to follow what he has laid out. He did not go through all of these patterns, designs, descriptions, and details just to hear himself talk. He didn't need to. He didn't lay all of this out just for, he was bored and he had nothing else to do. He's given us a plan here. He's given us a pattern. If you do this, if you turn, like when you have a map and you're trying to go to a new place that you've never been to before. Well, it always strikes me as very interesting when people are, following this map that they, sometimes you'll find that there's a person that will decide, well, I know the map says, turn here, or the directions say turn here, but I think I'm going to turn this way. I mean, don't we do that in our lives? Don't we do that? God has given us a path. God has put it in our heart, a desire of things that we, really want to do for the Lord, and we put us on a path, and we've been given some guidance in a certain direction, and we go down that road, we get those directions, and then we decide, oh, I'm going to turn this way. I've seen people do it. I've in fact done it myself. I'm no better than the rest of us in that regard. And I even find it funny that now that we're using GPS and all these apps for directions, I find it very funny. The same thing occurs. The directions will take you along a certain way, and you know, and you'll be following the directions, and then you say to yourself, and this is so much like us, we say to ourselves, "Oh, I know where this is going." And once we say that, that is where that arrogance and pride enters in, right? We say it, and then we say, "Oh, I know where this is taking me, so I'm going to go this way instead." Now, whether we're thinking it's a shortcut or whether we're thinking it's a better way, we sometimes find out that when we take that other turn, that other direction, contrary to the directions that the GPS is giving us, lo and behold, we run into where what? A road is closed, or there's an accident, or there's some kind of construction going on. I've always thought this was funny with regards to detours. You're driving along, and all of a sudden there's a detour, and then there's a detour, and you're following the detour, and everybody's following the detour, and then somewhere along the line, someone will decide, "Oh, I'm not going to follow the detour. I'm going to go this way," opposite of where the detour signs are showing them. And lo and behold, they're led to a dead-end road, or another part that is blocked off by the construction or whatever activity is going on. And we do this. We do this through life daily. Even once we're given the direction, even once we're set on a path, we decide in our arrogance or in our pride or in our own willful way, "Oh, I'm going to go this way." And then when we hit our heads against the wall, some of us are quick to blame God. And some of us even curse God. Many people have. And sometimes people do it. They hit up against that roadblock, and they curse God, and they never turn back and get back on the right path. All of these basic instructions before leaving Earth are a roadmap. And the roadmap has signs, patterns, and designs. And all of them are consistent. They've been laid out by God precisely for us. And since He is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow, the map is the same. The signs are the same. The patterns and designs are the same. And His plan is perfect. And if we would just stay on the roadmap, stay with, and blossom as the rose, it shall blossom abundantly and rejoice even with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it, the excellency of Carmel and Sharon. Thou shalt see the glory of the Lord and the excellency of our God. Strengthen ye the weak hands, and confirm the feeble knees. Say to them that are fearful, of a fearful heart, Be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with vengeance. Even God will recompense. He will come and save you. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap as a hart, and the tongue of the dumb shall sing. For in the wilderness shall the waters break out, and streams in the desert